Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I have always believed that there is a special place in the hearts of every fan of Descendants of Zombies for this new cast. It's something I've held close to me and I've never let go of because I always believe that no matter who you are, you're appreciative of the stories of these characters. You have fallen in love with the stories of these characters for the emphatic reasons, the obvious reasons of how they could tell a story through music, how they could tell the story of their own character and really bring it to life. No matter who we are, we all have a favorite character or a favorite moment that made us a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Moments that brought us that much closer together and made us feel a part of something so special. I know this for certain because I felt a part of something so special ever since becoming a part of the soundtrack. Ever since lending my voice to this incredible soundtrack, I feel like I've been on this journey, and every day I've met new fans of Descendants of Zombies, and even though I've already met thousands of people who have subscribed to this YouTube channel for their love for Descendants of Zombies, I've got my work cut out for me because I still have thousands of people to meet, if never millions of people. And I look forward to being a part of that future with even more people than ever before. Because I think as we move ahead into the future, we as fans have to change with the times and accept the future for what it is. And it really is a beautiful story that we are all going to be a part of. A story that's going to be told through the eyes of Red and Chloe, a story that we've never seen or heard before, with new characters such as Red's sister Pink, played by Liamani Segura, finding her way into the franchise for the first time ever. And upon her entry, I think she's going to be a part of a very beautiful story that we can't help but feel more excited about than perhaps we ever have before. I'm really excited about all these new characters coming into this franchise because what we're setting ourselves up for to be a part of is an expansion. And an expansion is a really beautiful thing because it allows us to meet more characters and to hear their stories and to share in those stories that we've never had the chance to share in before. Because years ago, Disney Channel franchises and movies never really told stories. They were shows about a pop star overnight or wizards that worked in a sandwich shop. They never really presented us with much of a story until the stories got deeper through season. But Descendants, from the very first moment that we saw it, presented us with a story that we couldn't help but fall in love with. And I think that's where everybody's appreciation came from, was just how beautiful this story was representatively told. And to be honest with you guys, I've loved every single one of these characters. Maybe it had something to do with how I wanted to give them more of a chance than perhaps ever before, but I really had the time of my life loving them with all of my heart and showing them an incredible amount of love and support. I have heard all the critical reviews that people such as Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner have received early on in their careers, but the reality of this is everybody is a critic and everybody is entitled to their opinion. But there isn't really much that we can do about that, I know, but we can go out of our way as journalists and critics to say something nice, at least for people, to give them hope for a future, because we are all about to be a part of an incredible future. A beautiful story that I'm so excited to be a part of and to tell from my perspective for you guys for the very first time, which is what I hoped was going to happen for this YouTube channel. I was going to have the chance to meet you, and along with meeting you, I was going to have the chance to tell you my own version of this story and how I felt about it, how Descendants made me feel, because Descendants made me feel accepted by a niche. You guys were incredibly supportive of this channel. When I first showed up as the host of this channel, do you guys remember the promise I made to you? It was emphatically that I was going to upload a video about Descendants of Zombies for the rest of my life, and I had no idea how I was ever going to upload a video about Descendants of Zombies every day for the rest of my life, but I've come through with that promise, because a promise comes with a commitment that you have to follow through with. If you say you're going to upload a video about Descendants of Zombies, you have to become dedicated to your channel and to your specific niche that you're trying to appeal to. And oftentimes for a lot of creators that can be very difficult to do, but I think that it's been so fun for me and such an honor to win the hearts of every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because when you can tell this story the way that I have and proudly represent it and feel a part of this franchise along with making everybody else feel a part of it, that's what's so special about it, because we all have a favorite song, like Life is Sweeter When You Are, or Fight of Our Lives, or we all have a favorite character, such as Red or Bridget. For me, it will always be Bridget, because Bridget was just a genuinely sweet soul who just wanted to make everybody she surrounded herself with every day for the rest of her life, happy. And I think that represented the story of a lot of girls, because a lot of girls within this lifetime that are never given enough credit for how they want to make people happy around them, that they surround themselves with every day. I think if more guys understood that, they would have a greater appreciation for girls. Maybe that's just me and how I feel about it. I'm just saying. But I think Descendants' story for the appreciation of time and the value of friendships has really stood the test of time and really stood in a category of its own for what feels like forever. We saw it in the friendship of Mel and Evie, if I can play a nostalgic role for you guys. We saw it in their friendship, how they were there for every step of the way for each other, and we saw it in the friendship of Red and Chloe, how they were there for each other every step of the way. And again, that's what made Descendants stand out in a category of its own, and will allow it to solidify its legacy as the greatest franchise and stories ever told. I'm so excited to be a part of the stories of Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland. Maybe it had something to do with how I always was a fan. You know, I'd have a cup of tea in the nighttime, I'd watch Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland when I was really young because I thought that was the thing to do. How many times would my grandmother, over watching Alice in Wonderland or Cinderella, pour me up a cup of tea? And I would sit there for 75 minutes and I watched the entire production. And I always, from my experience, I can tell you, I always came away with a greater appreciation for Cinderella's story. I always came away with something to appreciate about finding true love, you know, being put under a magic spell until the stroke of midnight and then the spell being broken. But before the spell was broken, you would find your true love in that one person that you thought you may have a chance of spending the rest of your life with. Or the story of Alice in Wonderland, how she just wanted to make friends with everybody. It may have taken falling down through a rabbit hole, but she emphatically became friends with the Cherokee Cat, the Mad Hatter, and various others, and she even went on to earn the respect of the Queen of Hearts for her severity. I know the Queen of Hearts is a legendary villain who just wants everything her way, but Alice from Alice in Wonderland would go on to win the respect of her too, along with making friends with so many wonderful people, and that's what made Alice in Wonderland's story one of the most revered in Disney history. There was just something about Disney's version of the stories that he told that you couldn't help but fall in love with. And I've always had an appreciation, even if it's been only for 40 years that I've been alive, I've always had an appreciation for Disney. And I've always had an appreciation for these stories that have been told hundreds of times over the years that I couldn't help but feel more honored to be a part of. And now knowing that 75 years after Cinderella made its premiere as one of the most successful Disney Channel franchises of all time, is still revered and told through the stories of Descendants characters, it's such an honor for me to be a part of this generation. A generation I never thought would have ever happened. I knew we were all going to be a part of something special many years after becoming a Disney fan, but I never imagined we would be a part of something as special as this. I've seen you guys pack so much emotion into these venues for the Worlds Collide Tour, how your heart was filled with warmth because you saw these performances for the first time ever, and you got the chance to share one night at least for the rest of your life with all your favorite stars. And that's what made these moments so special, were that they were moments that never really happen a whole lot of the time, but they are moments that are rare. And that's what makes them so special. You guys were taking selfies of yourself in the crowd with your friends. You were taking selfies of yourself with your favorite stars. You had the chance to meet them, get their autographs, shake their hands, give them hugs, even ask them if you could be a part of the Descendants franchise, which is the one thing that I've been asking in every video that I've ever recorded, for the chance to be a part of this franchise and become everybody's favorite action hero. There was also something I appreciated about sitting behind a microphone and getting paid to bring characters to life. I wouldn't even care if I got paid to bring a character to life through the power of my voice. I just want to touch the hearts of everybody and be someone special to everybody. And I think through lending my voice to the soundtrack of Descendants of Zombies, I became that special something or somebody to someone out there who loves Descendants of Zombies so much. For how much of a chance I gave to this franchise, how much I believed in it more than anybody else ever did, how many videos I would go on to create, which would amount to over 1,000, and over 125,000 channel views happening for this YouTube channel, which is the one thing I never imagined would have ever happened for this YouTube channel. It's just 9:08 a.m. in the morning. Happy Sunday to you guys, by the way, because Sunday always reminds me of having the chance to sit down and watch The Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. I used to watch it every Sunday. There either used to be a movie on there, a Disney classic movie, or some documentary that used to profile the history of Disney that I remember watching on Sundays. I also used to love watching Disney Channel when Disney Channel used to be really huge years ago, because on Sunday nights they would have specials like, of course, the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour concert special, which we just saw on both Disney Plus and Disney Channel a couple of weeks ago. And everybody watched that by the millions because they were so excited to run back the concert and re-experience it. Having the chance to run it back was so cool. And I know that there are people that are forever going to miss, Princess Red and Miss Princess Chloe, because they offered so much to it. Even Freya Sky's character Nova Bright, who offered so much to the zombie side of things. I know there are people who are not really acceptant of the cast backing out of the Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour, but what you got to realize is we got to open up the door and leave the door more widely open for new cast members to leave their mark, to leave their everlasting impression, because we already know the stories of Red and Chloe. We've heard those stories 1,000 times, if never 1,000,000 times over. So we have to give just as much of a chance to this new cast to leave their mark and an everlasting impression, and the Worlds Collide Tour Leg 2, heading overseas in places like Mexico where they've never been before, will allow them the exposure they need, because not too many people know who Liamani Segura is. She is a beautiful person, mind you, and she deserves just as much of a chance as the original cast ever did. And I think that when you give her a chance, you're going to fall in love with her. Trust me, guys, you're going to fall in love with this cast just as much as you did the originals. It's something I can make a gamble on, and if I could make a gamble on anything, it will be that you guys are going to fall in love with this new cast because you're going to give them just as much of a chance once you get to know them as you did the originals. I know that it's very hard to say goodbye for a lot of people, especially to the OGs, Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, who you never wanted to say goodbye to, that you never wanted to let go of. But again, as the times change, we as a fandom have to change with the times, even with how difficult of a chance that presents us with. And when you come into your own and you accept this new cast for who they are, and you give yourself a chance to get to know them, trust me, you guys will have just as much respect for them if you give them a chance. Over time, it's not going to happen overnight, because from the first moment you see them, you have a lot of questions. You're in doubt of the future of the franchise. I know. I've heard and I've seen it all. But trust me, they are beautiful people, and they wouldn't be there if they weren't as good as what people believe they were. I think that there are a lot of people that are going to take away an unexpected appreciation for Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour, an unexpected appreciation for Camp Rock 3, which is coming out this summer, and an unexpected appreciation that will blow your freaking mind for Descendants of Zombies in its entirety. Because I think that when you have your mind blown, I think that every Disney fan looks for the chance to have their mind blowed, and that's what Descendants of Zombies did for me. It presented me with the emphatic chance to have my mind blowed, and I had so much fun. If I could freeze this in a time capsule, I would freeze it instantly, just to have the chance to relive it. You know, experiencing all these characters from the past and even the present, watching them come together for crossover opportunities. What a phenomenal opportunity that we all had the chance to be a part of, and we're still a part of it. You know, it's been 10 years. The thing you got to think about is it's been 10 years since Descendants became a part of all of our lives, since it found its way into our lives, and we've all taken away a form of appreciation for it. I know there have been far too many critics seen on social media platforms like Facebook, X, and Instagram that have had a very to-the-point opinion about Descendants of Zombies and people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, and I've become very tired of the criticism. I know there are people who leave comments all the time on different YouTube channels, and there are people who always let their opinion be heard about them, but the thing is, guys, this is a beautiful cast. This is a really beautiful cast that really allows you to pick your eyes up off the floor, because they are just so strong, they are so fearless, and they never really have cared what anybody thought of them. They just wanted the chance to entertain us, like Miley Cyrus did years ago, like Selena Gomez did many years ago. Think about it. You guys probably are a fan of Miley Cyrus. You probably are a fan of Selena Gomez. You're probably old enough to remember who they are, but you got to think about it like this. Their careers started the exact same way that Kylie Cantrell's and Malia Baker's are now. And the thing is, at one point in their life, they still had a long way to go, and they had no idea how they were going to make it. So if you were accepting of Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez and what they represented in the stories they told, you can at least give Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker a chance to share with you their stories and to tell you their stories for what they're worth, without posting critical reviews, without saying this should have happened, that never happened, that you were hoping was going to happen. Not everybody gets what they want. But the thing is, just because everybody doesn't get what they want doesn't mean that you can't be acceptant of this cast and give it a chance for it to eventually happen, because you just can't fit everything into one installment, into one chapter. We have a long way to go, because what Descendants is experiencing now is an expansion. And I think that because we still have a long way to go, that gives us more of a chance to be a part of something special with more people than ever before, to have a chance to become more friends with more people. And I think that's what's so beautiful about Descendants of Zombies, how it allows us the chance and the opportunity to bond over something so special that we never imagined that we would have ever had the chance to bond over. I remember all the critical reviews that Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez were receiving, but still everybody presented them with more of a chance than perhaps ever before. And I think if we do the same thing for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars moving forward, it's going to really be a skeptical. And I think that because it's really going to be a skeptical, we are going to be honored to be a part of it, and I couldn't feel more honored to be the one sitting behind this microphone bringing such things as this channel to life, having such an incredible opportunity to meet so many wonderful people and to touch their hearts. It really means the world to me that I can create so much relatable content and really reach out and touch the hearts of far more fans of Descendants of Zombies than I ever imagined possible. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with me from the very first video that I ever created. There are people always subscribing here. There is at least one person subscribing here every day because he or she loves this YouTube channel. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here. The only hope I've ever seemed to have is that everybody was going to give this new cast just as much of a chance. And I know that there are people who will forever be supportive of the new cast. But if you actually open up your heart and your mind to this new cast and give them more of a chance, I think that great things are going to happen, and we are all going to be a part of history. We are about to be a part of history, and I'm so excited to be a part of that and to share in that with so many incredible people. So thank you so much for being with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. It means more to me than words could ever say.